So now I'm really excited about what we are going to hear because I think it's a little bit complicated to make sounds with these generators. And yes, the electronics of the 60s. I think at that time we had sinus generators and ring modulation and tape.
Yeah, there were not many ingredients. Oh, I'm way louder than you. Yeah, there were not many things available when the electronic composers at the time set out to create new music. In France, we had musique concrète, which took concrete sounds, like a train, and then they composed with a train. In Germany, in the WDR studio, they tried something different. They tried to create sounds with no reference. So to create sounds with no reference, because many of the references of the past, they were destroyed by what the Nazis did basically in the war, and the whole tradition needed to be shaken up. So non-referential sounds that could then be moved and transformed into space was something that composers like Stockhausen, you're going to hear that name a bunch probably, because he's probably the most famous of them all, and he started in 1953 at the official opening with studio of the WDR. So you're going to hear their mission was to create non-referential sounds that could then be moved into space, through space, in manners that hadn't been possible before. Absolute control over every aspect of the performance in the end. And many of these performances were tape performances. And if you get a chance to attend one of those tape performances, you have to absolutely do. They sound completely different than anything you might hear when you listen to the stereo file on Apple Music or Spotify. It is a special thing, so really try to attend the event, especially Telemusik, which is a fantastic piece. But it's not easy to understand if you haven't had any background in how this music was created. So I thought, what can I do to get you all a little bit closer to this rather fascinating subject? Because it starts with a very simple tone. And I'm going to play you that simple tone, and that's also the first piece of measuring equipment that I bought to make music with. My own fascination from this comes from back in my studies in Hamburg, and I've been always interested in this, but I always thought it was pretty stupid to get a 22-kilogram sine oscillator, because a sine is just beep. But when I turned this on, I was positively surprised. Takes a while. Tubes. I think that's nice. And of course, you have different frequencies, and you just tune it using this dial, which, if you have time later on, you have to turn this, because this needs some power to turn. And let's go for a higher frequency. Here, classic sine. Now, what can you do with the boop? Well, they quickly discovered many techniques to create from this sine a lot of things. But you have to imagine, there was only one, maybe two sine generators there, and then you had tape machines. A lot of the stuff was done by bouncing from tape to tape. And I've got two tape machines here, there, and I'm gonna try a bit of that later on. But first, what can you do when you have just a sine? One thing you can try, turn it off, and then turn it on fast by routing it again to the channel directly, and then applying an envelope, the finger envelope if you want to. And already this sine has become something a little more interesting. So maybe we record a bit of that sine. For that, I'm routing it. This is a modern thing, but I couldn't bring all my big tape machines with me because that would have been a hassle. So I'm using this modern echo fix, which is modded to do true sound on sound, so I can layer and layer and layer sounds upon this. So let's see how that goes. And now, and that's something that was also relevant to Stockhausen, is how the human voice is formed. And if you've got a sine and you add, again, finger envelope to it, you can create something fun. Little alien voices. So let's record a few of these alien voices. And now we already have a little musical organism. And that is something that I thought about when I thought of what can I do about this lecture. I thought I was going to try to create a piece in the style of early electronic music right here while showing you all these things. Let's see how that works. It's kind of a strange against the clock thing. So now I'm going to record this onto the second tape machine. That shall be enough, because now I'm going to make a tape splice. Because a lot of the stuff that was done with meticulous splicing of tape. I'm not going to be meticulous, I'm just going to be pretty raw with this, because yeah, we've got no time. And usually, like creating one of these organisms or a section would take in the studio a month, at least 2 days, maybe a week. So this is a rather accelerated process I'm trying here. So I'm going to cut a bit of the beginning because I know there's probably nothing on there. Cutting progress camera. Click. So this is for the floor. If you ever wondered where cutting room floor comes from, that's the first splice, the first part of our impromptu composition. Now, one of the most interesting things that is, again, Stockhausen, Studie 2, he created Klanggemische, meaning he created complex sine structures that would mimic other sounds. And it sounds absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to do a Klanggemisch from sines as the second section. Therefore, I need to clear this loop. And we're going back to the sine. We have to wait until this loop is cleared, 20 seconds or so. I think now should be able to first note, do another pitch. Stockhausen did this in the head before. He composed everything meticulously. I can't even pronounce the word, still I keep saying it. But I'm just gonna YOLO it. We're going to go for 4. Maybe? Yeah, that's good. I'm going only by intuition here. One more. I'm turning this up, and you tell me when I should stop. Louder if you want me to stop. Okay, take that. Our Klanggemisch. And of course, we could now do all the fun things we did before with the sine. And already it becomes something very different. Can also feedback it. Good. Cool. So now let's record this. Ah, way too long. That's what happens, you get lost in this. So I'm just gonna splice this roughly. Because it's really wonderful to work with all the possibilities of feedback that you also have, and it's very relaxing to create music that way, actually, I find. But I mean, in the original, this would have been a very process involving not just one person, it would have been like 2 or 3, and it would have involved intensive planning. So, okay, so this is our second part. And we put it here so we know it's the second part. Yeah, of course. And usually it would be completely meticulously noted down. And so now we have worked with signs. Another thing that they worked with were Impulsgeneratoren, impulse generators. And the beautiful thing about Pulsgeneratoren is that they're little rhythms. But if you speed them up, they become tones. And depending on what rhythm you get different tones. I've got here, this is a modern unit used for neurology, and but it's pretty similar to the old ones. It's just a bit more complex. So we're going to hear that on its own now. Just kill the loop in the meantime. So bring it in slowly. That's our rhythm. And if we now speed that up, up, not down. And if I now change the parts of that rhythm, I get different frequency spectra. And of course, different rhythms. But oftentimes, these rhythms were run, or impulses, were run through filters to make them a little bit more exciting. And one of the most famous ones is the UBM, Abstimmbarer Anzeigeverstärker. I made a video about that and I called it Stockhausen's earth-shaking bass drum. Gotta do something for the clicks, so, but it's true. But it can also do beautiful high things. Rhythm got a little boring. That's nicer. Cool. I think that sounds nice. Let's record something with that for part 3. Wrong one. So now this is in the loop, and I was only cutting out certain parts of the sound, not continuously. So instead of getting continuous like glissandi, we would get distinct little notes. And now we could also play with the speed of those. Part 3. let's record that. Gotta get rid of this first. Waste. Want this? Good. All right. Test. See if it comes through. Yeah, here we see it works. Too much noise. Good. And now record. Shorter this time. And a little speed up. Cool. So that's part 3. Okay, that's nice now. Cool. Part 3, still very long. So what you see when you make tape loops, and you're going to see that later more, they needed a lot of space, and they would run these things around many, many different mic stands, or at the studio they had proper Umlenkrollen. And I remember reading a story about Holger Tschukai of Cannes being very envious of those, because they had to use beer bottles. Okay. So now, let's try speeding this rhythm up and create some tones from that. Clean it. Good. Speed it up. Again, we are running it through the UBM. Let's record a bit of that. Oh, I forgot to turn the loop on back. Okay. Let's go one up. Whoa, sorry. Maybe one more low note. think that's good. Part 4, ready to record. Okay. Good. Cut. Clear this one. And do our final little cut. And here I've got my little blade. And by the way, if you ever go into the habit of working with loops, if you find these old little Revox thingies that I'm using here, get it, because these are wonderful. These were meant to be pasted onto the Revox tape machines. They're absolutely usable, even like under a situation where you get sweaty hands, such as here. So, this is number 4. I think we can cut it here. And now, the job is to splice all these together and then perform with this collection of parts. How am I doing for time? Anyone got the time for me, please? Just so I know. 7 o'clock, so I got 15 more minutes for this. Okay. So one thing that's really important, and I've forgotten this so many times, is to create the tape the splicing tape splices early on. And again, I should have done this earlier, because, come on, you little splice. And there's sadly only one tape that I can recommend, and that's the one that costs the most, and it's super sticky, which I can just, here it is. I was looking for it's like looking at Tesa, you know? So Tesa film is also not very easy to find once you drop it somewhere. Same thing. So get those prepared. Collect. So basically this is the really rushed version of what was happening in the electronic music studios of the time in the past. Because as I said, there was much more planning involved. But it's one thing that I really like about it, it's very physical. You're not hunched over a desktop, you're actually doing something with your hands and moving around, and you have to stretch, and you also have to lift, so it's a workout in itself. All right, so let's tape 1. Take this, and take one of these over here. Tape 1. So do we have we have a splicing cam. Wonderful. Okay, so here you can see, I just put it in, and I put a little bit of blue tape here just so I can see what's going on. So here's the end. Good, of 1. And now I'm gonna, 4. That's 4, I started with 4. Okay, so we're doing this the other way around. But that's something that's absolutely legit. I mean, like, even in Kontakte, Stockhausen switched parts around after, because it is all about the music and the listening experience in the end. So it's okay to deviate from your original composition. Selling myself very high here. Okay, also made a really bad splice, but for the purposes of this, it's gonna be fine. So now we have connected 1. And now, Bartosz, are you around? Bartosz is my technician who helps me get all these things in shape. Cool. So, little applause for Bartosz, please. And now, can you take this exactly? So keep the end ready and put it maybe somewhere there, and try to alert me when I step on it, because that's that's really one of the things that I've noticed that happens very easily, is that you start stepping on these things. So that is 2 splices, right? Yeah, there's the splice, good. So now we're gonna tape this to splice number 2. And type number 2 is here. It's good to do this on a stage. I've actually been doing live tape looping in 3 theater plays. It was super fun always, because it's such a beautiful process. And I thought, I was a little bit scared about, like, oh, will the actors even like working with tape like this? Is it fun? They didn't have to splice it, so, but they could record it. And the first time, like, they heard their own voice directly recorded in the moment onto the tape, and were then able to manipulate it. Like, it was wonderful, always wonderful. And one thing that many people don't know anymore is that tape, at least quarter-inch tape, is incredibly resilient compared to the tape that we are used to, like cassette tape, if you are even used to cassette tape anymore. So you can step on it, you can do many bad things with it. I'm doing a horrible job at splicing it, at taping these, but it's probably, the resolution is probably bad enough so you won't notice. Good. Always be aware of the media where you're performing. So, okay, so here we got this. And now I want to splice this to the last one. And then comes the fun part. Because I also don't have a good Umlenkrolle, something I need to get built. We're gonna try this with these stands. And if it comes to it, hands. Because even your hands can be wonderful for guiding the tape, providing, they are dry, and you are willing to be the guide for the tape. So I should have put these not so far away. So, oh, lighting change. The excitement is rising. How will our piece sound? I mean, oh, no, tragic happened. No, I need to do this again. And it fell down. Ah, oof. And I stepped on it? No. No, that's one I can step on, but where's the end now? Here. But that means I need to make another tape splice. Anybody want to you can't, because I've got the cutter here. Sorry. Some things you can do, so I need to cut this again anyway. Splicing wrong way. That's the wrong way. How did this go? This goes the wrong way. Okay, so I need to think. And I probably need to cut also this. I need to cut away the glue, because double glue splice sucks. Let me know if I'm blocking the editing camp. Good. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, and that's the clue about these little Revox thingies. The tape doesn't fall out. So if you put it in there, it sticks pretty good. If you get a cheaper one, the tape might not stick. So, cool. So now let's splice this. Yes, wonderful, and it's the best splice. Oh, like it. Okay, so now we need to find the end. Why am I doing ASMR? Okay. No. Too much time spent with binaural heads. So Bartosz, I think I will need now the beginning or the end. It's a nice thing, a loop has no beginning or no end. Cut that. How am I for time? 8 passed? Oh, okay. I should have made some like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire action music in the meantime for this. Don't do music by yourself now. Okay. Perfect. So here we go. This is our composition. Let's see how it sounds. For that we need to put it on the Nagra, and we need to get this little thing all the way over there. And I'm really excited because I didn't really get to check how it sounded on tape. So get rid of this, empty this, put it in here and not lose it, because these are expensive. Everything tape machine is expensive. So, okay. So now we're running this into, where's the output? We're running the output line input. Okay, let's see how, now we, okay. How far can we go? Yes. Okay. So this goes from here, goes to here, goes to here. So it goes like this. We can run it across this. So mic stands work wonderfully for this, mostly. And now, could you please come up and help me get this one over there? This mic stand over there. There's one more. Yes. Audience participation. Wonderful, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can also try, maybe you can find a nice spot for this somewhere here. Yeah, and please put it up. So we can take this over here. Oh no, how much do you need? Okay, so now it's me to make a triangle. You can let loose. So how much do we need? Yeah, the nice thing is, like, in the studios of the day, like, and even in the theaters, when they didn't have like Ableton Live or QLab, they would, if they wanted to play like a long loop, this is how it would do it. They would put it, you can loslassen, Bartosz? Can let it drop. So the thing is, you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose. And sometimes, now when I start, can you hold that one and see if it's, won't pull it over. Oh, first mistake. Need to put it a little like this. Okay, it's running. Now let's hear. Oh, there's something broken in here somewhere, I think, because I'm not getting the full tone. So what I'm gonna do, that might mess up my idea of ring modulating this, but I want to get the whole sound. So somewhere there's a broken lead or something. So now we're going to do it like this, because I want to hear it in all its glory. Okay. And so now this is on. What did I switch out just now? Wonderful, I switched. Okay, wonderful. Oh, we can hear it already through the feedback. That's wonderful. Okay, our composition, and here we go. Let's try it at half speed. A bit lower. That was it. That was the speed run of electronische Musik, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I think our composition turned out nice. Now, what would have happened now is probably, this could have probably been just one little organism, and then you would go around, record this actually on another tape machine, and then splice it up and create again the piece. And yeah, it was a lot of splicing involved. But for this, I think we did good. And yeah, I think Gebrüder Teichmann now want to say something about the project, if I'm not mistaken. Where are they? Where are you guys? There. A little bit of applause. You don't have a microphone? Oh, I think there's one lying around here. No? Do we have a microphone? It's coming in a second. Else you have to lean really close to me. But no, we wait for the microphone. Nice to meet you. Here you go.
So, yeah, thank you for this wonderful demonstration. It's very sad that we missed the ring modulation part.
Yeah, I was so, but there was just something. Yeah. I had this one actually custom made for this, but then I realized probably like in moving it, something went loose, so that would happen. It's all like, as you can see, like I've got this very useful little mixing box here to get from all these different kinds to adapter box, basically, to get from all these kinds of different, from banana to jack to XLR, and that's very useful. But then all of these, see, this is very loose, this is very loose, this is constantly work to keep these things up in shape. But as I said, like this here, you can see in like whenever you see a photo of the WDR, you can see this, you can see this, you can see this. It's historic instruments, and they have their own little problems. Yeah.
But yeah, it was very enjoyable to see you turning the knobs and splicing. Very professional job. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, yes, glad you are all here, and we wanted to talk about the event. So this was a pre-happening to make a focus to the event we will do in 2 weeks, which is for the 60th anniversary of the Goethe-Institut in Tokyo. So there's the look back, what happened in the 60s, and there's a piece of Stockhausen will be performed, Telemusik, in the special quadrophonic projection, audio projection. There will be another performance. Makoto, maybe you can tell about it?
Yeah. Hello, my name's Makoto Oshiro from Tokyo. I currently live in Berlin, but I'm directing the Tokyo side of this program. And in Tokyo, we will introduce artist named Yasunao Tone, who is background is more in Fluxus, but in more recent years, he's been working with glitch or AI kind of stuff. And we will be introducing one of his early compositions using an organ. And also on day 2 with the Telemusicking, I will be, the Tokyo side will have artists named Jusei and another artist named YPY and Tatsuhisa Yamamoto doing a quartet. I will be taking part of the Berlin side show.
So to get a quick introduction in what's happening, I made some notes to keep it focused. So we got inspired by this quadrophonic sound system that Stockhausen developed for Telemusicking and other pieces. And we are in the situation that we cannot be in Tokyo. We have to be in 2 places to celebrate. So our idea was to connect 2 similar spaces in Tokyo and in Berlin with the same quadrophonic system and play, experimenting forward and back between the cities, using this idea of Telemusik, where Stockhausen was using different sources of music from different backgrounds, like ethnographical recordings from all around the world. And we thought, why we don't do something between Tokyo and Berlin with live musicians? Play the concerts forward and back, and then ring modulate each other, making some new piece out of the sources that happened live in Berlin and live in Tokyo in a similar spatial sound place. The event is taking place here, if you want to join, on the 27th and the 28th of May in the Japanisch-Deutsche Zentrum, which is in Dahlem. And it's a very nice ride to a little quite Japanese atmosphere. It's gonna be in the afternoon because we are simultaneously playing between Tokyo and Berlin. So the time difference is 7 hours. So here we will start at 12, in Tokyo at 7. And yes, you're very welcome to join us there and see how that will go.
Yes. So basically, there will be the first day, which shows the historical parts. There will be Telemusik projected 2 times. In between, there will be a lecture of a guy who is doing the projection. It's Juan Verduguer. I don't know how to spell him, sorry. But he will do a lecture in between, and then you have the chance to listen to Telemusik again. And like Stefan already said, it's a lot of effort to play this piece in the space. So we have a special sound system with speakers very high and the bass very low, and he will take care for hours to adjust it, and then you can hear Telemusik, because it's not only the 4 sides, it's also the arrangement of the speakers. And somehow we found the idea nice to hijack this sound room which Stockhausen created, and we use it in the now with Mieko Suzuki, with Naoko, sorry, Naoko Kikuchi and Makoto Oshiro. Naoko is playing koto, Mieko is doing electronic sound, Makoto is doing objects, sound objects, and in Tokyo there will be a performance as well, and these concerts then will just be transferred and played back as an acousmatic concert on the other side, so you're able to hear what the Tokyo performance was in the same sound with the special Stockhausen quadrophony, and then later on in both cities there will be a ring modulation orgy live remix which is related to Stockhausen, but also we don't play the partitur, it's free, but we took also the idea to bring two sounds together and create something. So yeah, we're looking forward. It would be nice to see someone there. It's at 12 o'clock, and now we said we are open for questions, or on the other hand, I think you invited people to turn.
If they want,
some of
yeah.
the
If you want to
knobs.
turn these
So-
dials and have fun, I can up the volume again, and you can make some noise.
So
Carefully.
maybe we start with questions. Any questions
Okay.
about?
Hi, that was fascinating. One of the things that is most important for traditional music is form and repetition.
Yes.
So I wanted to hear your take on form in the work of Stockhausen, and most importantly, how do you think that this compares to your take on form today?
Oh, I'm not a serialist, so I've this way of like creating stuff. That's something that, like in its microstructures, that is, or in structures and organisms, something that I don't really think about. I tend to come really, I think, like years of theater have taught me to work in like a dramatic structure mostly. So I structure my music like I would like a 5-act play all the time. So that's my structure, that everything that I do, it has this kind of logic behind it, especially when I play live. And I was missing one act, and that act was supposed to be the ring modulation today. So, but that's how I structure it. But I find it absolutely fascinating, especially in Telemusik, the order that is in there, how it was constructed, and especially how you feel that order subconsciously, even if you don't notice it directly, is absolutely stunning to me.
Thank you. I was wondering, from all this equipment, does any of it has been made to make music from the start?
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing was, except for this tape echo. So this is made to make music. So this is the newest thing here. This is just a passive filter used for telecommunications. Okay, I had this ring modulator custom made, so it was made for music, but usually this one. This is again a measuring instrument, and this is again measuring for communications mostly. That's where much of this comes from. This is medical. So this is usually something like this is hooked up to like electroshocks and stuff like that. So either for like a monkey on the brain, or for you when you go to electrotherapy for like problems with your wrist or something. And also for research. This is all nothing. This stuff is mostly non-musical.
Okay, because the filter sound is really the kind of sound that every maker wants to reach, and it's highly musical.
The filter is incredible, and that's why this is all over conductor. You can hear it bubbling and bleeping, and I remember there's a story like when the WDR got some more money to renovate the studio, and I think one thing that Stockhausen asked for was just more of this. He didn't want like we didn't want a computer, for example. So, which was at the time like the start of computer music. He didn't want that. He just wanted more like, give me more abstimmbare Anzeigeverstärker. Give me more sign generators. And it's an absolutely fascinating way to work, because you can do so much with just this. It sounds very acoustic in a way. So I've never found anything that sounds like the UBM anywhere.
Thank Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks for the light. Okay. Good.
Thank you, Stefan.
Good.
And thank
Anyone
you,
wanna come?
SUPERBOOTH. Thank you, everyone. And hope to see you in Dahlem, end of May.
Thank you all.